The heck? What is going on, everybody? This is the Cloud9 Podcast, Season 6, Episode 11. So, yeah, before I go over everything I want to talk about in today's episode of the Cloud9 Podcast, I just want to say thank you to every single person that has been here, since the very beginning. We're getting closer and closer and closer to our, goal of hitting 1,000 subscribers on the channel. And I just want to thank you guys for that. That wouldn't be possible if it, wasn't for you guys. And we are going to be talking about the LCS 2023 Spring Split teams as we know them, because most of the rosters are starting to get, filled out. And we're going to get to understand what these rosters are hopefully building to. Most of these rosters, as you guys know, are literally just building to pretty much nothing. I mean, it's always the same song and dance, just spun a different way every single time, So, if you see a StreamYard link in the live chat, that is for Mr. Cole, because right now I can't DM through Twitter because my account is still restricted on Twitter. So I had to just send him the link through Discord. And if he can't see it in Discord, then I put it in a live chat, but only Cole is going to be able to get through the actual StreamYard link. So give me 1 second, everybody. I want to make sure I get all of this stuff set up. And yeah, the 2022 League of Legends offseason has been heating up. I still have a few more videos that I really want to drop for you guys. There's still news happening with the LCK and the LPL. Actually, NA and EU are pretty much done. It's just China and Korea that needs to pretty much just, finish. Now, I'm not going to really cover China's offseason all that much because there's so many players to cover. And I'll be honest here with you guys, I haven't really actually watched enough of those other bottom teams in the LPL to really know all the storylines and all the ins and outs with those players. So, for the LCK and the LPL, usually I pretty much cover any news that pertains to any popular team or any popular player leaving that team and maybe going to another team. Just recently, we had Keen, who was on a Freak of Freaks. Now they're known as Kwangdong Freaks. Keen, the longtime top laner of a Freak of Freaks, now Kwangdong Freaks, is now going to be, off the roster, which is really crazy because you kind of knew Keen with Afrika, and Keen's been a top laner that I've enjoyed watching all these many splits, but people have told him you probably want to leave that organization if you ever want to really do anything in the LCK, oh god. But it's one of these things where, I guess it's just in the Asian culture, they just feel extreme loyalty to whatever org gave them the chance and gave them the chance to prove themselves. I mean, if Keen was a top laner in the LCS, there's no doubt in my mind he'd be one of the best top laners in the LCS, some splits ago, but we'll have to see how that goes. What's up, Ziak? Yeah, just some crazy dumb white girl. Fucking just going nuts usually. Yeah, it was okay. I had to, restart my computer because I wanted to show you guys some videos through YouTube, and I can't do that through Firefox. Firefox only allows me to just show the web pages, but, if I'm able to, show you guys the videos that I want to show you guys for this episode that I want to bring up, then I gotta have to be able to show you guys, videos. And with Firefox, it doesn't allow audio to be shared. You can share the screen, you just won't be able to share any audio. But on Google Chrome, you can share the video and you can also share the audio with it, because I don't know what's the real point of you sharing a video on screen if you can't literally listen to the audio. That'd be crazy as an audience, right? So I'm going to just make sure I'm getting the rest of the stuff done. If you are watching the stream, make sure like the stream as always. We've actually gained quite a bit of subscribers recently due to my League of Legends 2022 off-season videos, and we're getting closer to that 1,000 subscriber mark, like I mentioned earlier, but it's going to be another journey to get to that. I have a lot of plans for the channel going forward that I actually want to, do coming up next year. There's a new series that I want to debut, and there's just a bit more content I want to do, but it's mostly going to be the Cloud9 podcast and then this new series. So, instead of just having just solely the Cloud9 podcast, you will end up having, another series where we're talking about, the LCS, the LEC, and the LCK, and the LPL, actually. So this new series is going to be able to encompass all the regions, not just the two regions we normally cover here. Now, we do cover the LCK and the LPL on this show, just not a lot, but I watch them individually myself, Other than that, there's another thing that I want to bring up, which is you're probably going to notice, wait a minute, why are we on season 6 of the show when we were just on season 5, last week? So there was this show that me and my friend used to do called Rift Insight, and I had those episodes still on the channel. And there was another series that I did called G2 Fancast. There was the Real Esports. I was trying to get names for the show, and I thought to myself, why aren't those shows a part of this show? Like, I literally just went in and I retitled all those shows. Not like all of them. I literally just put Cloud9 Podcast Season 1 XS thing, to those older shows. So I basically absorbed those older shows into the Cloud9 podcast, and then that would boost this show up to where it is at now, which is the episode we are currently on right now, which is the Cloud9 Podcast Season 6, Episode 11. So we are officially on the 6th season of this show, and we are literally more than about halfway done with it, which is good. So for the off season, what we're gonna end up doing is I'll end up giving you guys, more content. I'm just trying to figure out, what I'm gonna do for you guys right now, and I've been mapping out everything, so you guys will be getting a lot more stuff, and that's good. So just want to let you guys know on the updates, and you're probably wondering, like, man, I literally was watching this show and there was less episodes in. How did he jump that far? Don't worry, I just told you. All right, so I'm gonna go to the live stream, and then I'm going to put up the poll, and I'm going to get with you guys in just a moment. Also, you can watch on Twitch and you can also watch on Twitch if you want, Okay, give me a moment. Give me one moment. Give me 1 second. Let me change my audio setting, because I know my audio setting was like in my fucking speakers. I know you guys can hear me, but it's way better in this. Okay, so let me make sure it's good. Okay, this is way better. Okay, it's the same thing, but this is just better, me talking through the mic itself. Okay. Let me put up the poll really quickly, and okay, make sure we do this. Smash the like button. Give me a sec. Smash the like button. Hell yeah, I did. Hell yeah, I did. And for the name and for Sneaky, I did. And for Sneaky, I smashed it. Oh, God. You have to smash the like button for Sneaky. That's what we got to do around here. God damn. All right. So, thank you. I feel like I say this every split, but this is definitely going to be one of the most competitive LCS splits ever. The teams are stacked. You did say that every split. You've said that ever since I met you. You've actually said that pretty much every single split. And, there are moments, where the splits are competitive. I'm not going to lie to you guys there. There are moments where the splits are competitive. There are, and I have to give it to the LCS teams for the past LCS 2022 summer split. I personally think that the playoffs and the losers bracket that we had was really exciting. You had teams like COG step up, which was good to see. We also had all those storylines and narratives go in. Like, I predicted FlyQuest to beat, TSM, and they almost did. They were 2-0 up in the series, and they ended up just losing it. and then I I predicted XL to beat Fnatic, and that almost happened. It's crazy, right? Because when a team is playing like really bad, I can see that from a mile away. I can easily see when a team is playing from like a mile away. I can. Like it's I've watched League for so long at this point, like I can easily tell when a team is like just falling off and not playing as good, as they should. But the thing here is another team stepping up and doing very well is really good. And we have that with this past, LCS and LEC, summer splits, which is nice to see. Less for the LEC, kind of more for the LCS, but you guys can see what I'm saying. Like, just the weeks leading up to like just Team Liquid just basically just, collapsing was insane. And everybody knew going in that Team Liquid pretty much had to win. The roster of Team Liquid's was built to win. Like, you could not have failed with this roster. Team Liquid's roster was built to win either split in the LCS and to either go to MSI and compete or go to the 2022 League of Legends World Championship. That's pretty much what it was for. But when you don't have that and you have Evil Geniuses, stepping up the way they did, it was nice to see another new org, win. That was awesome to see to a certain extent. I'll have to say this, looking back at everything, we've had this year, a lot has been put into perspective. A lot has been, theorized and said, but going into this LCS 2023 spring split, where we're going to have lock-in, and, lock-in really doesn't matter. Like, I'll bet that spring matters for some things, but lock-in really just matters for nothing. Lock-in doesn't mean shit. Like, let's be honest here. Like, lock-in is literally trash to a certain extent. Yeah, it was kind of cool, like the first one we had, and, you had Perks joining Cloud9, and yeah, those other rosters kind of come together, but yeah, lock-in essentially just is a preseason tournament, and I know that NA fans have pretty much clamored to have their own like preseason tournament like the LCK, but even in the LCK, like the teams that win, there's been some random times where jank as fuck teams have won the Kespa Cup in the LCK, and they are just middle of the pack to bad, in the regular season of the LCK upcoming spring split that would precede the Kespa Cup, because it would usually go like, Kespa Cup, then, the LCK, spring split of that year. And it's the same thing, Kespa Cups don't mean anything. It's like, does anybody really talk about who wins preseason tournaments in League of Legends? Really, no. I know the LPL has theirs, and the LCS has theirs, The only major region that doesn't really have it is just the LEC. And I don't recommend the LEC ever getting like a lock-in tournament format, because there's no reason for it. It's literally just a waste of time. And like, it's cool because there's, no league for a little bit of time. So it has that alluring, it has that alluring aspect to it, for the reason that, you won't see league for a little bit after Worlds, and then you see that tournament and you go, yeah, LCS is back. You get the analyst desk and you get all these teams competing once again. When in reality, like Team Liquid, they've won back-to-back lock-in tournaments, both 2020 and 2021, and they haven't won a single split. Out of the 4 splits that we've tallied up together, they haven't won any of them. They've won lock-in tournaments. They can win the preseason tournaments, but, I'd much rather have a spring split trophy than a lock-in trophy, But, I think that was only because the lock-in tournament was purely just on, online. It was remote. Like, it wasn't actually in the studio. Who knows? Maybe for this year, they might actually, put the lock-in tournament in the studio. I mean, maybe that might make it a bit more competitive. That might actually be something, but I don't know. That's just how I personally feel about the lock-in tournament. It's actually just worthless, like the Kespa Cup tournament in the LCK. Like, I know the NA fans were kind of clamoring for it, but people had said you don't really want that because it's just not really going to be, something that's going to matter in the grand scheme of things. Like, lock-in just doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. It just doesn't. I'd rather win spring than win lock-in. I'll tell you that right now. So let's go through some of these rosters. So this was on Reddit because I went through Leaguepedia to get to the first page for the 2023 season for the LCS, and the only roster was just Cloud9's, So right here, we're going to just go through the roster of just Cloud9, and we're just going to keep going down, So we have the LCS team for Cloud9, which is going to be on the LCS side of it. And they have Academy too, but TSM's Academy is going to be the crazy one, right? Okay, so we have Fudge, Blabber, Diplex, Berserker, Sven, and head coach Mithy. So I'm going to start off with the coach aspect of this one for Cloud9, specifically because, remember guys, during the LCS 2021 summer split, Sven was benched off of Cloud9 for about 4 to 5 weeks, pretty much. He came back in for week 6, 7, 8, and 9, or it was probably 3 weeks. Nevertheless, doesn't really matter. Sven went on to Summoning Insight, and Thorin asked Sven why was he benched, and Sven explained why he was benched, and he pretty much said that he was kind of being a little toxic, and Mithy was just super uncomfortable around Sven as a person, which was really weird because Mithy was supposed to be their head coach, because before that they had Reignover, and then I guess the pressure of being a head coach for like that kind of a roster was too much for Reignover, so they put Mithy as the head coach, even though they even said themselves that they kind of thrusted that upon him. He wasn't really supposed to be the head coach because he had just got off of being the head coach of Fnatic, and that had a whole bunch of issues. You could tell like personalities like Mithy and Selfmade and Reckless and Bwipo are all on one org, man. So the issue with Mithy being the head coach is like, are these issues gonna come up again? That's pretty much it, because I know Cloud9 in their recent video was talking about how Sven and Mithy just argue, kind of like an old married couple, as Jack put it. But people got to factor in that was also enough arguing to pretty much let it be known that they had to bench Sven. Whatever arguing happened caused Sven to get benched, actually. So that was pretty much that to explain to you guys. I know people are going to forget that. And they're going to go, oh yeah, Mithy was Cloud9's head coach in 2021. It was kind of like, well, since MSI 2021, he was their head coach until the end of the 2021 League of Legends World Championship, And the thing here to understand is if these issues arise again, it's going to be much more of a problem, because this time around, Sven is going to be playing support, whereas before he was just playing ADC, So I think Mithy coming back as a head coach doesn't really excite me. I'm just being completely honest with you guys. I thought his drafting was exceptionally bad, because I've seen his drafting obviously on Fnatic, and I've seen his drafting on Cloud9 for a bit, and I've seen him, kind of have a big say in drafts in the past, and I've just not been a fan of his drafting. I mean, Mithy has a great mind for the game. He's obviously a, accomplished player, but in terms of just drafting and having a strength for that, I just don't think he really has it, Also, his personality just is going to be conflict issues with that, But I hope all of that could be definitely something that doesn't pop up, but these issues always pop up, These are issues that people always say, well, yeah, these aren't going to pop up because there are fucking reasons, right? No, issues always arrive, And if Jack, directly out of his mouth, said that, Sven and Mithy argue like that, well, that arguing that they had was also a reason why Sven was benched, But hey, that's just how I see it. Sven being the support for Cloud9 again, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm not too happy about that. But, it was said by people on Cloud9 that Berserker wanted to just play with Sven. So he personally feels like he sees a lot of potential in Sven. He likes playing with him. Now, that's a good thing. If you like playing with each other, that is something that can definitely be an edge, because you don't want to play with a guy that you don't like, obviously. But the thing here is, I think Berserker in particular would definitely need to understand, as he's going to get older, is like, just because you win with someone doesn't mean you won't have other prior issues with this person. You could look at like EDG, who won Worlds in 2021. So going into 2022, EDG had a lot of issues, but winning Worlds was a really big uptick for them, and they probably felt really good about it. Because I think players, just in general, especially in the LCS, don't only think about this, is you can win with literally anybody virtually, right? But issues will come up with that person. Like, they just will, you know? Issues will come up, and there's going to be different issues this year compared to last year, because, you know, they're going to be kind of still living off that honeymoon phase of, you know, winning the past LCS 2022 summer split. And then you're going to have more issues arrive when Sven, who is clearly a player that really can't play a lot of supports, you know, like at Worlds, when he was tasked with playing engaged supports, he really didn't play them all that well. I just thought he did play them like pretty bad, honestly. Like, I remember when he tried to play Nautilus to get into Fnatic, that looks fucking horrible. You know, he can really only play a few supports good. You know, he can really only play a select few supports where he can pop off. Zen is going to be highly dependent on the meta itself. So I'm just super at odds with this decision. You know, I personally think they should have just gotten another actual support. But if Berserker and everyone else on the team say they liked playing with Sven, they liked the teammates that they had, that's fine, you know? But this might be one of the cases where we're looking at this decision coming to the end of the LCS 2023 spring split and going, they probably need another support. But, you know, those are my initial thoughts on that. Berserker was the best ADC in the LCS this past summer split. It made obviously like no reason not to keep him. I mean, you definitely want to keep this guy. It's definitely a player that they should look to early re-signing, given his performance, though. I think Berserker has just everything you need in an ADC. Will he be the best ADC going into this new split with Doublelift? I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. But I think Berserker played better than Doublelift did when Doublelift was last in the LCS. So the last time Doublelift was in the LCS, Doublelift was on TSM, and yeah, he didn't play that well to begin with. So, you know, Berserker is definitely better than Doublelift right now. So we'll just have to see how much he keeps that going. All right, you have a new meme I was gonna call this guy Dickflex, but it's Diplex, right? So Diplex comes from Vitality's challenger team, you know, not even their main team, Vitality's challenger team. They picked this guy up, and there was this Cloud9 video that came out where they basically really just got this guy because it's most because of like just contract issues, and more or less so being able to afford the players right now. Because if anyone that's just so involved with League doesn't understand what's going on right now with the economy's pretty bad right now. And, you know, these LCS teams have sponsors who definitely, you know, help them with funding and stuff like that. So it was mostly a situation of Jensen's contract is going to be too much money to re-sign. So Jack basically let him go on to the free market. You know, it wasn't really because they actually wanted this guy. It was because having Jensen on the roster would have just been too expensive. That's what I got when I watched that video. You know, they didn't really actually need this guy. I want to make sure I'm firmly pointing this out. Jack said that they really couldn't keep Jensen because of the contract Jensen actually would hold trying to re-sign with Cloud9. Because let's be honest here, these players like Jensen aren't taking pay cuts. They want to get paid the most money, which is perfectly fine. Jensen's a very accomplished player in the LCS. He literally is the most recent champion of the LCS. So yeah, I hope this guy is good. I've heard a lot of bad things about this guy, not in terms of like personality, but more like his gameplay's been pretty bad. I honestly don't know, guys. I honestly don't know. I hope he's good. I mean, has Cloud9 really ever picked up a traditionally bad mid laner? The only bad mid laner that Cloud9's really ever had was just like Fudge mid, you know? And that was because of LS's fucking, really shitty decisions of putting Fudge mid. Fudge mid was a thing last year, early this year. It's crazy to think about. But that's my thing. The other mid laner enemies, don't know too much about them really outside of what I've heard when I was watching other people's content. So I don't really know about these two, but let's be honest here, guys. If literally Diplex starts failing, they're going to probably bring up the other guy, But I wanted to point it out there that they really didn't want to get rid of Jensen, which is crazy to think about because Jensen actually had a pretty bad summer split, all things considered, right? I think it was okay in the LCS 2022 summer split playoffs, but like in the regular season, kind of was sprinting it in some games. All right, so now we're going on to Blabber. Keeping Blabber makes sense, in my opinion, if you're Cloud9, but doesn't really make sense if you want to compete potentially internationally if they're trying to go to MSI 2022. Now, the thing here that I actually like with what Cloud9 did is usually teams in the LCK and the LPL, they have this thing where they keep cores of their players that have directly wanted to play with each other. A very big name example of that would be Ming and Xiaohu on RNG. People gotta understand there's a reason why a lot of these other Asian teams do very well. They actually keep the pieces of their roster that are really good, and they try to re-sign these players early on if they want to actually build around these players going forward. But what the LCS and the LEC does a lot is that they just kind of dismantle a lot of rosters. And I personally think when you are dismantling that many rosters, you really can't build any true synergy. Now, there are some times where you have to get rid of other players because they're just not that good, right? But there's a reason why that 100 Thieves roster made as many back-to-back finals as they did, So I like that Cloud9 are keeping 4 of the players that just won the recent summer split. I don't mind that. I think that is a very good idea. But could they have maybe potentially upgraded in another place to give them another extra edge? That's all I'm saying. Blabber has been arguably the best jungler in the LCS outside of Closer, for the last few splits we've had. There's definitely games where Blabber just sprints it. Blabber definitely has weaknesses, but he's still a very good LCS caliber jungler. And Fudge and Blabber have won literally now 3 splits together. No, Blabber's won the last, 3 splits for the LCS. He's won the last 2 spring splits, and Blabber has also won the most recent summer split. So Blabber has definitely been winning in the LCS consistently. So the other thing is Fudge and Blabber have also won last spring, and they also won this past summer. So I think it's good to have Fudge here still. I mean, Fudge failed at Worlds, but so did the rest of Cloud9, but Fudge is arguably top laner in the league. So that's fine to have, honestly. I think he played very well in the LCS summer split 2022 playoffs. I thought he played a lot of different champions that I liked. He definitely is going to have to probably work on a few things, but I mean, unless he's literally facing Summit, I don't really think that all those issues will definitely come up. But he's definitely going to have some problems because Blabber and Fudge have great synergy, and that is going to be a big point of strongness for Cloud9. I'm not just too sure how Diplex is going to fit into their roster. I just really never seen this guy play, honestly. So, all right. With the Academy team, because I know people are going to probably want me to speak about the Academy team. Literally, outside of enemies, none of these guys are getting promoted to the main team. Anyone who thinks Fake God is going to come over Fudge, you're on fucking crack. I've seen a little bit of Tomio, but he's not going to be playing over Blabber. Guys, Lost is definitely not playing over Berserker. That's not happening.
Lost is great.
I don't like you. I hate you so much. And Zazel,
I hate you too for taking that long. Jesus Christ.
I sent you that link a while ago. You are just inept. Oh my goodness.
No, you responded late when you said 4:30, so then I ran an error and okay, I guess there's a delay. But nope, it ended it at 5.
Oh my goodness. I hate this is why why do you guys produce decent League of Legends players? For some reason your fucking region produces Smoothie and Vulcan, and all we produce is Lost. What the hell is that? I forgot. Lost
is New Zealand.
We have double.
What the?
Well, we have Double Lift. I mean, we produced that guy, right? I think.
Fucking hell, he's 29 years old and he gets a spot over Unforgiven. Fuck me.
Oh,
okay.
God.
I mean, if Blabber shows the same issues as before, I'm just saying Tomio isn't too far from being LCS material, and he
but let's
is
be
a
honest
young
with you, they're
player,
not going to
so...
be getting rid of them. Like, Jack was talking about, these guys are not here to just be a bust stop. This is just another stop way to get to the LCS.
The sell to other teams next year. Not, I'm sure he isn't used in a 10-man roster, of course.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, you never know though. There are 2 positions or 3. I mean,
yeah, people gotta factor in, guys. There's no way Jack would literally ever put in Fake God over Fudge. That would never be a thing.
I mean, he might for like 1 game.
For lock-in tournament, sure, because that doesn't matter for shit. But
LCS,
probably not.
Well, that or like the end of one split. If like their academy team's doing well, it's the last game and they're already locked into their position in the standings. But I mean, I'm just saying there are 3 I mean, yeah, Fake God is an obvious no, and same with Lost. But I mean, I'm just saying for those reasons, I'm not saying he'll like sell Blabber and then start Tomio next year, or they'll split time. But I'm just saying there is the chance that at least 3 of them could get in if things go horribly, if Blabber shows the same issues, and because of the player Tomio is, or if Diplex doesn't, pan out, and Menace is, or whatever you call his name, fucking is actually doing surprisingly well, or Sven, shits the bed because he's not a support. I'm just saying there's 3 angles you could look at it there.
Well, the thing is that Blabber showed these issues this year, and he showed these issues at Worlds, and they're like, you know what? You're kind of turbo sprinting it, but we want you still on our roster. It's like, okay, they must really love this guy. God, like I know I've said this earlier this year that they'll probably get rid of him if he keeps like playing kind of badly, but no, they just don't care. He could literally play Olaf, go 0-10, and they go mechanically still very good. He's got it. It's like, holy shit, you guys are blind. But I mean, his highs are so high. I mean, they're only probably looking at, they're like, he has a few bad games. It's okay. What about when you're trying to go to like international competition? No, I mean that he just can't beat those guys. It's like, holy shit. Well, all right, let's go down and let's talk about 100 Thieves. So their roster is going to be Tenacity, Closer, Bjergsen, Doublelift, Busio, and and support cast that they just announced today. 100 Thieves. Yeah, they got some players there. Okay, so I think 100 Thieves not re-signing Someday is very, very, very bad. I think Someday was one of the best.
It's definitely a risk.
It's a risk, and one that they're definitely going to feel. Tenacity.
Yes, like he was definitely a top 2 top laner this year. If not, well, he was the best last split. But I'm just saying, like Tenacity and
even almost MVP caliber.
Yes, but I will say, whether they pan out or not, they have literally not just one, but the 2 best top lane prospects in NA, and Tenacity and Sniper.
So, with the 100 Thieves roster, I'll say this. Someday, to me, was their best player. MVP caliber, top 2 top laner. Did everything for them. So, it's one of these things where 100 Thieves were probably trying to cut back on the money that they were spending. So, they bring in, a new top laner, cheaper contract, new support, obviously cheaper contract. And you let Someday become a free agent. Someday has not been, guys, believe me, Someday has not been a free agent since the 2017 offseason. Been the first time since he was an offseason agent. He was like, EG's going to give me the bag. Well, EG did also have impact. Yeah. Also cost a buttload of money.
It was last time he was on Dig, I believe, the last time what happened.
And Dig didn't get accepted into franchising, so he was like, 100 Thieves, okay, I'm your top laner.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get what they're going with, though. They want to... They're hoping that maybe putting them back together, that the Bjergsen Doublelift combo will revive itself from the dead. I mean, sort of like you have like a raw, like a raw fish, and you're trying to like steer it back to life. I mean, usually that doesn't work, though, if you know anything about cooking.
What kind of fishing do you do? I don't want to be in that ocean or that lake or whatever the fuck you do with these fish. Do you fuck your fish like Aquaman?
what the fuck? But anyway, Kaz hasn't really. I mean, he's done work on Mad Lions, but I can't say if it's good work or not. He was like the strategic coach or something. But I mean
Mhm.
that was not really. Maybe it was just the players, but that wasn't really a strength. So now he goes from that and going to be the head coach. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, but yeah, they're trying to do that, I guess, with that combo, and then put in the young players around it, hoping they grow to that same level, and then closer, like glue and everything, like inspired, for EG last year, like having the best jungler in the league, to wrap things up together. I guess that's what their goal is with this roster. I mean, I could almost like accept, even though he was a fucking garbage the last year of his career, and he's been inactive for 2 years, and he's fucking almost 30 years old. I can almost accept Doublelift with putting him around this roster, being at least like a top 5 ADC again, maybe. All right, but it's just with beer, but there's just too many question marks. Like, well, if just one of Bucio or Tenacity, like while they're young and they have high potential, if just one of them doesn't pan out, then that's actually pretty dangerous for them. And then Bjergsen, I mean, this fucking guy, I just fuck me.
This fucking
And
hack.
then why do they have Destiny here? Jesus Christ! Why
Oh,
is
Destiny is your
Unforgiven
best.
stuck in Destiny hell?
So my thing with Tenacity is you gotta understand if you're playing on a double lift team, because this might be for new viewers who don't actually understand this. Being on double lift's team, not only is there a lot of pressure there, but double lift also, I wouldn't say adds extra pressure for his teammates to perform, but he kind of does, So if Tenacity and Bucio do not perform very well, Doublelift might potentially be the guy to have enough say if he's the best performing member of the team to go, yeah, I want a new top laner. I want a new support. Remember when Treats was
Yeah,
playing pretty
this guy
well with
is
him?
such an idiot. I'm
Remember
sorry,
when
like
Treats
he
was
doesn't know
performing
shit.
very well with him? And he was like, you know what, Treats, I don't need you. I need Biofrost. Biofrost was sprinting it. He
Yes,
wanted
he
him back.
literally is just like he's just like, who am I friends with? Okay, him. It's like, please do not trust much this guy says. All right, like I'm sorry. He literally said he'd rather have had Ole instead of Core JJ. All right, and Poe Belter over Jensen. Don't trust anything he fucking says. All right, and this guy literally said that I would only return if I got to play with a non-NA support like Sword Art or something when he retired, and the year after when he tried getting on the team, because
Mm-hmm.
he said, I quote, all NA support suck and there's none with potential, even though there were literally many like Busio, like this exact year before the off season, everybody was like, what about Busio? And he's like, nah. And then a month later, he ends up on the team with him. It's like, don't trust anything he says. He's not that intelligent as he makes it out to be.
So my closer, keeping closer is fine with me personally. I'm so glad they didn't take Spica. Guys, taking Spica would have been the hugest downgrade in existence for what this roster needs. Spica,
Yeah.
I think, was his top 6 jungler. It was like a top 4-ish jungler, kinda. But closer is just so much better. Taking Spica would not have been good. Now, closer, I think, is the type of guy to stand up for himself to Bjergsen and double if they're gonna be on their bullshit. I don't think Spica honestly would have been. And closer is just the better player, all things considered. Like taking Spica would have been just a fat L, honestly.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think
a
Closer's
couple
been one
years
of the
ago,
best
I don't think he
junglers.
would have, but
I personally think Closer has been one of the best junglers in the LCS, so them getting rid of him would just not make any sense at all,
no, he
honestly.
has. They made the right decision. Again, a couple years ago, he probably would have taken their shit, just looking at interviews, but now he's probably taken enough of, FBI and who he's shit, where he's just like, yeah, shut up. Or a Demontes as well. Just,
So
Jesus
now
Christ.
we have Bjergsen. So guys, you know what's crazy about 100 Thieves is 100 Thieves and Team Liquid's BO5 matchups were some of the most exciting BO5s in the LCS this year. In 100 Thieves had Abadage against Bjergsen. They beat Bjergsen in the playoffs, and playoffs matter. That's what the fucking playoffs do. They make you win trophies if you win the whole thing, right? So playoffs definitely matter. Okay, want to make sure that point stands. 100 Thieves beats Bjergsen. Okay, the roster does it both times, back-to-back series. 3-2 score lines, obviously.
Yeah,
And
let's not
they're
even
like,
say fucking Abadage, alright? Let's say some Fortnite kid beat Bjergsen, because that's literally what happened.
So 100 Thieves went, you know what? That guy that we beat in the playoffs both times this year, I want that guy on my roster. It's like, wait, what? Bjergsen didn't play that well at all this year. I don't know where this myth came from. This guy actually played well. He probably played well maybe a few weeks out of the year. A few weeks out of the year, guys. Not a few weeks in the month. A few weeks out of the entire year. It's like random weeks he played okay, Was he a top 4 mid laner? Probably only because there was really no one that much better, but that's not good. He didn't play that well. I think they literally could have gotten pretty much anybody else. They wanted to spend actual money for a mid laner because they wanted to get another mid laner over Abadage, because you can't have the same roster again, because they even said they knew that this roster was going to come to an end. So that's fine. There's plenty of other mid laners you could have gotten over him. I mean, if you want to double lift, sure, Double's going to be like, yeah, you got to get Bjergsen. Bjergsen's this, and that. Of course, Double's going to say that because they're friends. I mean, I just don't get it, honestly. I mean, maybe this roster just pops off, and maybe I'm just fucking wrong, A lot of, because I know another person told me something about them taking back Bjergsen and double lift, and I had to go over the comment because it just blowing my mind, actually. So let me bring that comment up really quickly. I think it was on the Bjergsen video that I did.
Yes, and please do not talk about that past chemistry, all right? And saying that's why they should have taken Speak as well to connect all three of them again, all right? All right, I don't know what. Listen, I know like Biofrost and all of them were shit as well, but listen, I don't know what crack you're smoking or what games you're watching, but their chemistry was actually dog shit in 2020. They literally won that split and made it to Worlds from rigging it because that double lift move shouldn't have went through, and from literally all four of the other teams throwing. Not they were dog shit. Golden Guardians, Cloud9, Team Liquid, and FlyQuest all through. All right, they did literally nothing.
Team Liquid
Their chemistry was hot. Yes, they all four of them through.
I remember Game 5, Broxo was playing Graves. Remember when it was Game 5 and Broxo was playing Graves and he just starts the Baron randomly when they have a scaling comp? I was like, Broxo, how much did Reginald pay you to throw? What is that?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right, like no, and they're all right. And not only should have they won the split and made it to Worlds, that it was just the other teams. Like honestly, Golden Guardians should have that year. Fucking all right, and then Fly should have won the split. But listen, their chemistry was actually dog shit. All right, Spica. Well, again, he did great as I predicted. He did not have good chemistry with them actually at all. It only looked good because in comparison, because he actually told Bjergsen to fuck off and not be his ward this time. So he actually, but that's not having good chemistry. That's just being not taking Bjergsen's shit. And then double lift's chemistry with the whole team was dog shit. All right, it was broken. Blaine honestly was like the best player on that team. All right, so just shut the fuck up.
These were some of the comments that I got on this Bjergsen video, and I was sitting there going like, I'm not the guy to be like, hey, your opinion is shit because you're stupid. But these are some cringe opinions. So this guy said, it's all fun and love, everybody. It's all fun and love. If you think this way, it's fine. I just don't agree on any circumstance. In my opinion, signing Bjergsen to double makes sense with the org. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. If I beat you in the playoffs, and you are my manager, and you as my manager tell me we're signing the guy that we beat in the playoffs both times, I'm going to fire you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
I want you to pack your shit though, and get the fuck out. You have to
think about their logic. You have to think about their logic.
We're selling the women at other teams.
Yeah, we know that super teams don't work anymore, so they're thinking it like this. Like, yeah, that happened, and they didn't play well, and the team lost, but that was just like all 5 players not playing well together, like Hansama, Core JJ, Bwipo as well. So maybe they're thinking this constructed roster will be different, and it doesn't matter if Bjergsen doesn't do as well as other mid laners or double lift as well as other ADCs, like we saw it with DRX at Worlds with Deft, all right? But as long as they're great enough and they, like return to that form enough, and then the other players turn into stars around them, and because of the veteran presence, and then of course Closer being like the best jungler in the league. So I guess that's their mindset. Now I obviously don't agree with it though. There were a lot more moves they could have done that would have made sense. But I mean, I guess if you want to go for like the NA like option, then regional option, then maybe.
Because they're not even really upgrading in their mid lane, though. They're getting bait at worst, maybe a side graded player. How's that gonna make them better? Like, I guess you could argue Doublelift is kind of better than FBI based on FBI's recent performances, but I mean, if their goal was to get an upgrade over FBI, that player is in your academy team. If they wanted an upgrade over Doublelift, why did they go buy Upset then?
Yeah,
if they wanted an upgrade over FBI,
their mindset.
You could just buy up. If 100 Thieves' logic is, we gotta get some upgrades here, okay? I'm just saying this is pure if here. If your goal is to get better players than the players you had before, I mean, they bought Unforgiven, so you had Upset, you had Unforgiven. I mean, Vetio.
Well, here's their mindset, though. All right, this is their mindset. All right, I think because listen, well, that is true. Well, Unforgiven is a very good jungler. I'm sorry, did I just say jungler?
Yes,
ADC.
He sure is a good jungler. Yep.
Listen, yes, again, they lost in play-ins, and they lost to Kaori, who's not even going to be played in LCS or LEC this year. And all right, and not only did that happen, but listen, like Kaiser is still in LEC, so their mindset is okay. He was the problem. Niski won MVP and is still in LEC. Oh, he's not the problem. Elioya is ranked as like the best jungler in LEC right now. Okay, he isn't the problem. Armu was. So they're pinning it on Armu and Unforgiven basically, and because one of the people in the bot lane was the issue, and even though some people thought it might have been Kaiser, they're pinning it on Unforgiven. So if that's the case, and then like he wasn't even good enough to beat Kaori, then they're like, I mean, it's kind of like they're both. I guess in their mindset, it's even bias with Doublelift.
Yeah. So they're going off basically
that too.
Yeah, so they're basically going off of, wait a minute, Kaori beat Unforgiven, so that, and since Kaori was actually he made it to the group stage, that means Unforgiven must be good. It's like, yeah.
It's the shit that they did with like Shadow. I honestly, Shadow.
You know what also throws me off, dude, is the fact that they would bring that people know Doublelift has a direct bad impact on his supports. Why would you pair up a new guy with him? That new guy is gonna.
Yeah. Especially the most, like the best.
If you go back and
watch
some of the splits, if you go back and watch some of the splits, Ole said he turned to drinking and smoking because of how bad it was playing with Doublelift. A person that never drank and smoked in their life, that it was that bad playing with him sometimes.
It makes that fucking shit ironic. That 7 days out thing where it's like, yeah, you're my best buddy, Ole. After they won, and he probably wanted to kill himself. Oh boy. Yeah. So you're pairing literally the best support prodigy in NA with Doublelift to ruin him. Good job, guys.
One of the best things to look at when it comes to Bjergsen and Doublelift being on the same team, there are some upsides to it. I'll say there's a few. The few of the upsides being that they have played together. They've had multiple successful years together. That okay, so you have that. But that's not this era of LCS anymore. I mean, yeah, it is. LCS is really bad, but is the combination of Doublelift and Bjergsen enough to win LCS in this modern era? They did only win 2 years ago. I mean, that's true. They did that. I mean, it was very, very janky and really bad, but they did it, right?
Listen, if this roster wins a split, I'll fucking eat one of my socks, all right? I'll literally cook it, cut it up. Yeah. I'll literally like cook it up, and then like cut it up with some scissors and like put it in.
This is what I'll do. If this roster makes the finals of the spring split, I will literally sniff my underwear on stream. There's no way. If this roster fucking makes the finals, we are doomed.
Sadly, there's actually a chance of that happening. So you might wanna.
So I might wanna, stop jerking off, in these past days.
well, because listen, there's always a good chance that the Cloud what Cloud9's doing with FlyQuest is doing. what all of them are doing, that it won't work out. So then what's their competition is just pretty much Team Liquid and EG. Well,
EG.
even Team
Yeah.
Liquid, they're having the young players. So it's basically just EG. So it's, like they're not gonna win us. If they win a split, I'll fucking jump off a bridge. But there's always a good chance of them making finals because of that.
Good, and I want to hear you fucking tell me how great Kenvi is, even though he's clearly running it down and sprinting it. Huh.
Jeez.
With every team making budget cuts for the year to be more profitable, signing these players who have big brands will most likely increase revenue for their orgs. That is kind of weirdly counterintuitive. I get what he's saying here. This is weirdly kind of counterintuitive, but I can understand that. But Doublelift and Bjergsen do not have cheap contracts up front, right?
Yeah.
How much? Okay,
again,
guys,
if we're looking at it in like some angles like this, like again, I get that it's like the same thing with like the Shy on when he went to Weibo Gaming. It's like we'll sell some jerseys, but it's like, all right, it's like, sure, if you want to try to look at it some angles like that, and like less and like less expensive options, maybe like Summit or or like if you want to like try to go for more regional talent instead of, or people with green cards instead of any imports. But again, we're just looking at the best players available, the best team construction. We're not looking at all this shit. It's not what we're on the topic.
Oh shit. On top of that, many pro players and new talent would be attracted to playing with these legends, even if he just didn't finish his sentence right there. That's just it. He just stopped typing.
Yeah, wait, what do you mean? They already have young talent around them. What do you mean they will want? There already is. What? I don't get what he's saying.
On top of that, many pro players and new talent would be attracted to playing with these legends. Sure. Okay, you could literally get that with other people, though. If you had a roster of Vetio and Upset, those guys would be like, damn, sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
like Team Liquid could literally build a roster of the Shy and Peanut. Like, that'd be more intriguing than Doublelift.
This guy said, bruh, better option than Doublelift when it comes to NA is kind of a troll statement to make. No, it's not. First of all, that's not really what I said. I said there's better options for AD carries than Doublelift in general. I meant that in general. I'm pretty sure I said that. If I did it, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh my God, is this guy really gonna talk about the past? Okay, first off, domestic doesn't mean shit. Shut the fuck up. He did nothing internationally. All right, Sneaky did. Secondly, all right, that was fucking like what, 20 years ago. Fuck off.
So my thing here, when I made this video, I clearly if I'm wrong, guys, that's fine. But I'm pretty sure, because this is implied, I meant there's better ADCs than Doublelift in general. Guys, I'm not even trolling here. Getting Reckless would have been better. I'm not even trolling. That honestly would be better. Being honest here. Now, to be fair, Doublelift and Bjergsen could easily come into the league, be the best players, and I could literally be eating my shoe at the end of the spring split. That could be possible. Or my dad could walk through this door. There's a lot of possibilities, guys. A lot of possibilities. Yeah, the man is literally the best performing NA ADC domestically by a landslide. If I was 100 Thieves with the current state of the economy, I would rather focus on maintaining my brand and getting more than domestic titles. First of all, 100 Thieves needs no help in maintaining their brand. Yeah, they had a big brand before they even were LCS champions. 100 Thieves had more subscribers on their YouTube channel than legacy orgs we already had. 100 Thieves needs no help in maintaining their brand. You are talking out of your ass, and I know you are. No, I'm not trying to be mean here, but you are talking out of your ass. 100 Thieves needs literally, guys, no help with that. They have the best branding probably in the LCS by far, and getting more domestic titles. Yeah. So this also is kind of
they're literally the last team that needs that.
So also this last statement is and getting more domestic titles. Well, okay, yeah, but you could get that with other. They literally didn't even have all on their roster when they won LCS. When they did, was they just had Someday, who was a big name player for them. Abadage, still relatively unknown. Closer just came into the league, so kind of relatively unknown, kind of unproven. FBI was just still a new ADC kind of, and who he role swapped. They won a title and made 3 back-to-back finals with almost relatively obscure people. So I mean, 100 Thieves equals Cloud.org. I'm just saying the moves kind of signify that. I'm just saying though. Talk about LPL free agents.
Yeah.
The best LPL free agent is Knight, but he's probably going to end up on JDG. So, just like that probably. So yeah, those are some of the comments that I got. I mean, every year, guys, I do these off-season videos. There's some people that be coming out the woodwork and be talking some shit, but it's okay. This guy, this is the one where I blew my brains out. I was like,
oh, this guy. Oh, Jesus, fuck.
This guy said, because these 2 players are literally ghosts of their roles. It's not that hard to figure out. He's like, yeah, who's better, Carso and Wayward? I was like, Canyon. No replies. It's been an entire day. He went silent.
Freaking what?
Guys,
what?
There are people out there. There are people out there who legitimately think Peanut is better than Canyon. I said Canyon, and he never replied back.
Did he just call Doran the goat of top
lane? Naguri exists. He won a world championship. King In, technically, if you want to kind of count that.
Okay, listen, you can get fucking Morin to come out of retirement, stop being a coach for Team Liquid, and go back to top lane, and he would be better than Doran.
I mean, a lot of people, guys, Peanut is not a bad jungler, but he's not better than Canyon. If you think Peanut is better than Canyon, I will never take your league opinion seriously. I will literally look at you like you're trolling me. Peanut's biggest accomplishment is I beat this guy when I got gapped by him. What the fuck? Oh, Lord. But that's it for 100 Thieves. I mean, I hope their roster with Bjergsen and Doublelift work out. I mean, I want it to work out, guys. I really do. I really want it to work out. But
well, I don't, because I want him to go back to retirement, but both of them.
You are. Doublelift has a hot girlfriend, so I need Lena alone in the streams that she does by herself. All right, so
Fudge's girls are hotter, right?
He dates Asians, so no, ew, gross.
Wait, what? Both Asian? Are you blind?
So, EG's team. Okay, EG actually has a pretty stacked roster. Someday Inspired, Jojo Pion, FBI, and Vulcan. If FBI can kind of come back to form, this is going to be easily a top 3 team. It's all just really just based on FBI.
King is going to be better, man. He's going to take his spot.
Exactly. The games I saw of King on Cloud9 really convinced me of that. Are you fucking retarded?
Oh, Sheeden is also joining them. Yay.
Oh, yeah, Sheeden. Yeah. They also have Soul, too.
Yeah. The game's coming back together. Oh, yeah. Ryoma, Timmy.
Guys, none of these guys are getting it. None of these guys are getting LCS time. Just being honest here.
Tommy is getting LCS time. You're a hater.
So this team, honestly, you could even make an argument. This is probably if I see people putting EG as first for their power rankings, I'm not too surprised. Literally, if FBI came back to somewhat of the form he had when he was in his peak on 100 Thieves, when he was pretty much the best ADC in the league, this is looking like a pretty scary roster right here. I mean, Inspired was easily one of the top 3 jungs in the LCS. Jojo Pion, best mid laner, arguably top 3. Someday, best top laner. Vulcan, best support. The list, like, top 2 positional players in every single position. Like, they did a really good job this offseason, honestly. I mean, they upgraded in every single place they could. So, yeah, I like EG's team. I think they have a chance of making the finals. Mm-hmm. If it's an EG 100 Thieves finals, I mean, yeah. You never know, people.
Also,
all right.
I will say, I do think, just to quickly go back to 100 Thieves for a second, again, if Doublelift doesn't pan out, they can always put an Unforgiven, so I don't think it's as much of a risk there. I think it's more of a risk in the mid lane, because their backup is not even good either. Fucking, they're both hacks there, but anyway, continue.
Team Liquid, Summit, Arthur, Harry, Yeon.
Yeah, he's not the starter. He's for Academy, I believe.
Okay, so they don't have their jungler yet.
He was for Hanwha Life, and he was for on the Oceanic team. That was at Worlds this year. So,
ooh, This
Yeah, but I'm happy with the I never watched City Widley before he role swapped and joined Academy. I don't know what it, but it seems like there's a lot of Academy players, but for some reason that join amateur players that join Team Liquid Academy role swap for some reason. I don't know what the deal is there, but it happened with, like CO or Cal or whatever as well, who fucking Cloud9 like drafted third overall when he was
for
an
any,
ADC. Jeez, what a
for
fucking
anyone who
bust. But
doesn't
anyway,
anyone who's been like new to the channel, I actually interviewed Harry a long time ago, right when Australia got allowed to have players in
yeah,
a B
yeah,
residence.
he's really good. He deserves the shot.
Yeah, I watched his games. I'm finally glad he's getting his shot. I'm finally glad he is. Like, two of the players that I interviewed on the channel, Triple and Harry, got time in the LCS. Maybe, guys, I'm the good luck charm. Maybe it's just that. But
Okay, a lot of guys get LCS time, all right?
oh yeah. And then they have YuGiOh, who was with Ayla, but they split that bot lane up because Ayla is going to FlyQuest, and they're keeping YuGiOh. I don't really know about. I mean, okay, so they have Core JJ still, and Core JJ, he kind of ran it down pretty hard.
They need a veteran. I think their idea, but YuGiOh and Harry aren't that young, so I don't think it's like a 100 Thieves situation where you need the gem. Plus, Ilya is like almost 24 years old himself, so I don't really, I don't
I
really
mean,
get that.
they
But
went for the
anyway,
all
I do like the
LCK
move.
roster. They went for the all Korean roster. They had Marin as their head coach. I've never seen Marin head coaching in any split, and I haven't heard of Marin
No, this
since
is
like
his first time
2018.
ever coaching ever.
Yeah, because Marin was relatively obscure for a while. Like, last time you seen him, he was on top esports when they were trash, and then he just left. And that was like years ago. So I don't know what he's been doing. Honestly,
yeah. Again, he hasn't coached anything before this. This is literally his first appearance in a coaching role and in any role for 4 years.
Okay, so we have Court JJ, who kind of ran it down most of the year. Like, did he really have any standout games this past year? I don't really think he had any, honestly.
You could say it at least did like the Afremu, like the little things, I guess, as a veteran support. But that's not too much.
Like, they're building the
again,
roster around him.
I do like the backup option. So, like, again, APA, I'm surprised it took this long for him to get a academy spot. But yeah, he has potential, but possibly again, he could honestly, I would honestly play him over fucking Palafox. I'm not even joking. But
You are
anyway,
on drugs. Summit.
yeah, because
Summit makes
he
his
plays
return.
just as good and he's actually versatile. So yeah.
Summit makes his return back to the LCS. I'm not gonna lie, guys. He's probably gonna most likely be like, if not the best top laner next to Someday, and probably like Fudge and Impact. Also, probably the best top laners: Impact, Fudge, Summit, and Someday. I mean, unless Dokla is just tearing it up while they're on CLG, right?
Yeah, Dokla's gonna use his Indian tech hacks to win.
Guys, Summit came to the LCS for one split, beat everybody, and won MVP. He failed in the playoffs.
And then
that's true. And he just left. And he came back. I mean, this roster will probably be better for him now that he can just have all of his brethren there. He has his ding-dong chink brothers he can be around, where they can
Jesus fucking Christ, stop it. Jesus. Yeah, I swear to God, I hope Team Liquid doesn't win the split, though, because I'll cry, because that is just classic Cloud9. They have, like, the best player in the entire league, like an Impact or somebody, and then for no reason, they just drop them, and then they join another team like Team Liquid, and they win, like, 4 splits. That is just typical Cloud9 history.
Yeah, PO Factor, and when Jensen left Cloud9, they were getting destroyed there for a little bit.
And Impact, and just many, like, it has happened many times. It's kind of hilarious.
I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be pretty spicy when TL and C9 face off against each other. Summit versus Cloud9. Fudge can finally face off against Summit in the top lane. The guy that he let play top lane over him because he even said, "Yeah, he's probably better than me." Oh God, yikes!
And he's gonna pick the Fiora, and he's gonna stomp him. All right, I'm sure of it.
Summit is gonna send Summit back to Asia. To be fair, they both really can't see that well, so
Jesus fucking Christ, stop it.
So all right, so here is the CLG roster. I like this. They were scaling up with the split. They had really good synergy. They were 2-0 up against Team Liquid in the lower bracket, and I think this is the right move to do. I think they keep the players. I think this is a good move for CLG.
Well, I'll be honest. So I would like to see Copy and Breezy get some time because not because again I think Palafox and Poom might be two of their weaker links, but also because Copy and Breezy have done really well in Academy, and I think they're owed like a look at least like maybe 4 games. But
No,
otherwise, I'm glad they're keeping them together for now.
is this some sort of charity league you're trying to run here? Everyone gets a turn.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Copy and Breezy could actually perform better.
Is that how the
than
girls are in Canada with you? Like the fucking cheerleaders in the fucking school you went to, they're just bicycles. Every guy's just getting a turn with them.
Okay, listen. CLG isn't going to be like first in the standings. They're gonna be in the playoff. Oh my god, they're gonna be in the playoff pick, and their playoff spot might be secured. All right, but they're not gonna be first. So when it comes to their playoff picture, or like trying to contend high, it shouldn't like hurt them to just like play them like a few games. So like just test them out for a few games and see if they're better. Yeah, see if they're better.
You know that Cloud9 probably scrimmed with Copy, right? And they were like, this guy, he's not going to ever be a mid laner for us. And they're like, you know what? He's
not ever going to be as good as like Jensen or Keith. But I mean,
this guy's hot. What the hell?
Okay.
Oh, anyway. This girl I'm looking at is a literal hoe bag, and she posted some seductive photos.
Why is Chowie there? Because I thought Chowie left.
No, they're actually gonna keep him. All right, so CLG's roster, guys. Not much I can say about them, really. I like the roster this past split, and I think it's the right move to keep them all together, honestly. All right, they actually might even
those players that could contend.
You know what's crazy? They might actually even have a higher placing this time around because they have that inbuilt synergy. But synergy from year to year transferring is a weird subject too. TSM, this is their roster.
I will say though, the only thing I don't like about CLG's like LCS and Academy is I think they should have just got rid of Jenkins and someone else like Soul maybe who has at least a little bit of hope, but that's about it.
No.
I also like their coaches, but why you keep saying no?
No, Soul was trash.
What? I didn't say he's good. I'm saying
you said he was the best top player in the LCS.
I'm saying he's better than Jenkins, and he's at least young enough where he might grow into something where you could use for like a 7-man roster in the future. So I'm saying, and they should have just got rid of Jenkins for somebody like him.
The fungus outside in that plant that I just saw has more growth than Soul does at the top lane.
Okay, listen, Surdy would have been a better option than Jenkins. Why didn't they sign him? He has no team. But anyway, I'm glad they're keeping ThinkCard though. But anyway, so yeah, TSM.
So you get 3 pieces from their LCS 2022 Summer Split roster. You have Solo, who was good for what they needed. Maple, I thought was good, and they have Chime, who I thought was actually good too. But they have Neil's been a player that was he was on Optic and Dig. He's been on these like bottom tier LCS orgs, and now he's getting a shot. Neil's getting a shot, guys. Finally, at getting on a top tier org, kind of. With TSM.
Org, stop it. I mean, top tier fucking death threats. That's what he's gonna get.
I'm saying he's gonna finally get his shot at being on an org that has some history, a storied org. He's not gonna be on Dignitas anymore. I love how I love how right when he leaves Dig, they actually build a good roster. That's crazy.
And he's better than Spawn. I mean, Spawn is more safe, and better in lane. But Jesus Christ, but yeah, TSM's fucking roster though, Jesus. Also, Dig is a storied fucking org. All right, fuck off. They're as storied as TSM. Maybe not in wins.
I'm just saying, this is his first time to prove himself on an org that has some brand recognition, some staying power.
Maybe I doubt anymore. With either, they probably want to sell their spot. But anyway, the roster. No, I'm glad they kept Solo, Maple, Chime around, and again, I'm glad they kept Neo around. I told these fucking inbreds in the Discord to just get Neo, Maple, and Chime, and they didn't listen to me. And oh, now looks what happens. Oh yeah, they end up playing better than all your other shit choices. Go fuck yourselves. But anyway, I'm glad they're keeping Charlie around because Charlie is a very good coach. Just wasn't a good fit, and maybe it still isn't. Maybe it's just isn't with the org in general. But I'm willing to give him another chance with it. I think it was just the players, but and then Solo is decent enough. The only choice I don't like is Buggy, or however you pronounce his name. I don't know if they would have got him because he's a resident in Japan for them, and it's valuable for them, so they can have 3 Korean players. So they would probably have to pay a lot to get him off his hands, and he probably likes playing for Destination Focus Me. But if they wanted to go for like some sort of import option like this with another Korean, then I think getting Steel would have been better. Like I don't think this is as good, but and then also there was some backlash with the academy players they signed. And listen, I can see
Mhm.
both views. It's like, yes, there are a lot of older players who also play in the EU regional leagues, and I mean, yeah, it's like players aren't just supposed to roll up and die just because they're old. It's like they are competing to try to get back on LCS and stuff, or or sign them for like backup options if their LCS players aren't working, or the sell for money for the to other teams. It's late in like summer or something. It's like that's what a lot of teams do with players. I get that. The issue I have with TSM right here though, that I'm doing this is a it honestly just feels like they're just signing their buddies just to give them a job instead of actually doing that like other teams. And and B, while that is true, every other time we've seen that in the EU regional leagues and in LCS, they at least like they have a mix of older players and younger players. This is actually just like 5 older players, though. It's like, what is the point? So
My
that's my
thing,
issue there.
because my thing here is people just want to just randomly sign players. It's just you can't really do that either, you know. And the reason why a lot of these academy prospects can't be brought up to main teams is they're just not that good enough, you know. Like if the caliber of competition you have can't really beat Hanser, then because you can kind of tell if a player is gonna be good within like a year and some change, right? You shouldn't just be giving players spots just because they're on your academy team. I don't know why a lot of the community thinks that. That's just this is not like I'm your friend, you know.
Yeah,
You have to be good enough to compete for the spot. It's not just because like, oh, you
yeah.
should just give them fucking free jobs because they're an A. It's like no. You don't
Yeah,
do that.
again, it's
They're
like again, Cloud9 signed Spence Garen as a sub to see if he's good enough to then
Mhm.
like compete in their academy team, and he wasn't. So then they kicked him after spring and then signed Sheehan for or whatever instead. So it's like they didn't do it, but TSM just like yeah, you're a buddy. Come on down. Reginald isn't here for 2 years to beat your ass. Come on down. It's
like
like it
it's
literally
so
just this one.
weird. It's just so weird when you go on like Reddit. People are like, "Oh my god, these people are just taking our jobs." It's like, first of all, they're not taking your jobs. Like, if people act like these players haven't been like since Scarin and Hunter are very accomplished players. So is Wild Turtle, at
Yeah,
least in the LCS
yeah.
standards.
Yeah,
These aren't
again,
like
it's just like
trash
again, my only
players.
problem with this is again, it just feels like TSM's just doing this to give their buddies jobs instead of all the other reasons. But otherwise, yeah, I mean I think people are over exaggerating it. It's like we see this all the time and not 5 old players on one team, but we see old players all the time in regional leagues and stuff in the minor leagues. It's like that, and that's the thing that's like I always found laughable. It's like it since like 2019, people would like mock shit like, oh my god, you have just all these you have some of these has-beens playing your academy league. Well, so much for NA talents, and it's like I go to the regional leagues and what the fuck are you talking about? You have people like Kasing and every like fucking 30-year-olds all over your fucking league. It's like, what
You
are you
have
talking
White
about?
Knight still competing in ERLs, you know?
Yeah, it's like yeah,
You have
fucking
players
Promise
like
Q.
Samix is still competing in ERLs. Samix, guys. I mean,
Yes, Promise Q. Many. I
yeah.
look through all you would be shocked with the people who still are playing in all over the place there. I mean, even Cody Sump was playing there, but yeah, I
So
just
my
I
thing
don't know.
here also is people just in an A like, just give fucking Destiny a chance again. Well, no, we've seen that. He's not good. I'm sorry, guys. He
Destiny,
sucks.
all right. Destiny isn't even a 30th place fucking support out of the LCS and Academy teams.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really don't know why this team got as much flag as it did. Triple was at one point playing in the LCS on FlyQuest at one point, and then
And he was
this
actually
was
doing really well, better than Palafox.
yeah, and then they chose to go back to that roster that was doing bad because that Academy roster they put in lost a few games. Even though that Academy roster came in and won 3 games straight, they're like, you know what? Back to Academy. It's like, I feel bad for my boy Triple. I gotta get Triple back on the show and talk to him about like, damn, you've been getting fucking screwed on some of these teams.
Yeah.
Here.
Well, yeah, honestly, if you got Triple in Palafox's position, he would at worst do as good, in my opinion. Honestly.
All right, the next team is going to be FlyQuest. This looks like
I had a question to ask.
No, fuck
does
you.
Speaka speak Korean?
I thought he spoke Chinese.
Oh, yeah, I know he's Chinese, but can he speak Korean as well?
Oh,
Because
fuck.
if so, that's
They got the wrong
That's the
ethnicity.
second.
They got the wrong
Oh my
ethnicity.
god! What the fuck?
They got the wrong ethnicity. They thought they were the same.
God, because I was gonna say if he does, then that's the second Korean-speaking team that it was rumored that they might do that, or they were planning to maybe get somebody else. But then FlyQuest paid Speak a bunch of money. He was thinking of going to 100 Thieves, so I guess it was somebody else they had their eye on prior. But I mean, yeah, and nonetheless, so Jesus Christ, MSK. Yeah, I mean, this is a good roster, I guess.
This is definitely they would be at least maybe competing to be at least top 4. I don't know about top 3, but at least top 4 material. Because Ayla, I liked what I saw out of him. Prince is really good.
Yeah, like no,
I know people said that Prince only looked good because his team funneled resources into him. That you could make that argument, but Closer on Live Sandbox played really well by himself. So I don't know about that. And definitely, you have to be good to utilize those resources too. Like, you could give any player resources, but you have to be good enough to utilize those resources too.
Yeah, like they make that argument, and they make the argument with just him picking Zeri a lot. But I mean, it's like sure, but he's still very good in my opinion. Like
you can literally have gotten those resources and suck too. That also could happen. It's not just a one-sided argument.
Definitely. like, have you seen when they try to give fucking Sam D those resources? Guess where he's playing now? Guess.
Yeah, you saw when Damwon tried to give Dekton resources, didn't work.
Yep,
not good.
Astral Esports he's playing on, by the way.
Yeah, and like that's the thing though. Jensen. Oh yeah, we'll talk about dig in a moment. So we'll go over that when we go to dig. Impact upgrade over Philip. Speaka's actually going to be an upgrade over Josecito. I'm glad he's not on there. Jose Yoda was not that good. I'm glad he's gone. Go back to fucking Mexico.
He was all right, but he was replaceable, definitely.
Vikla, I've not seen this guy ever, so I can't really speak about him. Prince I know is good, what? And Lei I know is good.
What? Wait, what? You didn't see him on KT?
Was he on? He was on. Oh, him.
Yes, listen, I was going to say, Vikla, Prince, and Elia are honestly 3 of, like, the biggest breakout players this season, and now they're all on the same team.
He was the guy who was playing Lissandra a lot, wasn't he, and Zoe?
Yeah. Well, he was playing he was doing fantastic. He subbed in, early in spring, like 4 or 5 weeks in for KT when Aria wasn't panning out for them as much as they thought, and he did a great job. He was great. We won Rookie of the Year over many players. Like I believe even, I mean, Zeus I don't think was considered a rookie, but he won it over really top players. And then they have again. Vikla and Prince were like 2 of the biggest breakout players this year in the LCK, and now FlyQuest has both of them. And then Elia was the best like support that wasn't on an LCS team, like considered coming into the off season, and then they have Speak on Impact, which maybe they can play as well as they used to before. So, I mean, this is a good looking team, and then their academy team, Spyrax, YuGiOh, they have good potential. Philip and Winsome is solid.
Winsome, solid,
honestly, it's Jesus Christ. The only issue I I'm not a fan of the coaching staff. And also, I'm not a fan of Papa Smith. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's he's black. I know. Yeah, it's okay.
I knew you were gonna say that, bitch. I was waiting. That's why I didn't say anything. Fuck you.
Yep. Yeah, I know how you roll. You're like, yeah, we do much better here with just random insert my motherfucker, right?
Yeah. You see, I'm glad Aframu is just on the bench this year. Fucking.
That's crazy. Everyone, if you guys don't actually see this, Aframu, he has the longest streak. If he doesn't play on a team this spring split, he would have had the longest streak in the LCS of just from when. I forgot when he actually started playing, but that's crazy. He's not going to actually have a starting spot.
Pretty sure he played since like 2012 or 2013.
Yeah, whenever he's been in the LCS since it started, so he has the longest streak of any player that's not retired. Aframu's not going to have a team. I've seen this guy play every split since I've started watching League. He's not going to have a team.
I'm at it. He's not going to have a team, but you have Ignore flushing Huhi with teams.
So that's the FlyQuest roster. I mean, we know that FlyQuest wanted to go and spend money, and they did. Getting Prince and Impact will definitely make them have a better roster this upcoming spring split. Let's go to Golden Guardians. Golden Guardians is... Let's go to IMT. No, let's go to Dig. Okay, so...
honestly, I really wish Cloud9 just got Vikla instead, but whatever.
So for Golden Guardians, it's super simple. I don't know why they have Stixay. I don't know how Stixay still in LCS at all.
I don't know why they have a lot of these players.
Like Stixay, guys, is still going to play AD carry. Stixay, who is probably one of the worst ADCs in a long time. In Academy and on
what
stage.
Am I looking at? What am I actually looking at, right? We have... So listen, Licorice, I can almost be like, okay, that's fine. River, are you?
They paid a lot of money for that guy, and they just got him, so that makes sense. I can understand that.
Yes, but unless you're wanting him to play Jarvan for all 18 games, I mean,
he will. He'll play Jarvan.
And then Gory was like player of the fucking split in LCK at one point, but ever since he then, for some reason, teams didn't pick him up after he was like the most valuable player on
it was right?
It was on like Najin or something, I believe, or some team like that. And then for some reason, it took him a while to get a spot on an org the next season in the off season. But then he got on the LCK team, I believe something like FPX. And then he just started playing like shit randomly. And then again on PSG, they didn't even make Worlds, in that league. And now he's going to Golden Guardians, and I don't know. It's like he's not bad. It's just he's not. He's honestly like pole belter. He's just there.
Like I remember he got a chance to play on FPX. I remember that, and I didn't really see him playing that well on FPX. Honestly, well, I mean that whole roster didn't play well at all. But 6A, I still don't understand how this guy gets
the Korean pole belter.
Who he was on Golden Guardians, got his chance to roll swap on the org, left the org, won a title, and now came back to the org that he left to go. I just don't get it. Well, to be fair, if Golden Guardians didn't take him back, I'm pretty sure no other org would have actually had him. So he's like, oh, okay, I gotta win. I gotta at least have a spot. It makes sense to keep River because it was rumored that they paid a lot of money to get him from Dig. So the amount of time that they've actually had River, it would make sense you want to justify your investment keeping him. But I don't really think this roster is going to be that good. This will be probably like a 7th place roster, maybe 8th place roster, give or take. Because a lot of the other like bottom rosters definitely improved. River. Like a lot of the other bottom tier rosters definitely improved, and Golden Guardians just pretty much stayed probably about the same. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, for the amount of money they paid to get River, I'm sure they could have kept closer at that time. But what are you gonna do, right? Yeah, good job.
IMT Guardians. Has Revenge and Kenvi, and that should just say how good that roster is gonna do. I mean,
people actually tried saying on Twitter that that Revenge was good this year. He was solid. That's what they tried saying.
Man had like one standout Riven game.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he had that one standout Camille game where he played like really well on Camille. Guys, this was one game out of like the entire 2 splits we've watched. 2 splits, one standout game. That is pathetic. That is actually abysmal. Guys, who's watching this, they have Parth as their head coach. Let's be honest here. Nobody has any expectations for any players that they have. Blaze Olive, he was honestly one of the best mid laners. I'll give it to him. He played really well. So if a Blaze Olive can play as well as he did, like he did on Golden Guardians, they actually might have a chance to maybe compete for 7th.
The problem is I don't see him returning the form after the treatment he was given and playing on Immortals now with these players. But I mean, again, yeah, Blaze Olive returning the form and can be at least growing into a good jungler is their best hope to. Again, this isn't making worlds, but if that happens, and then Tactical returns to form to at least being solid, and then Revenge is as solid as people apparently claim, and then I don't know, and maybe
he's solid, but thing that ran really over every game. I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like this is like the worst looking roster easily in the roster. This and Golden, and the thing that's hilarious most about it though is that they're okay. It's two positions in for Immortals, maybe not, but like the academy teams for Golden Guardians and Immortals are fucking shit as well. Honestly, you got fucking ADD, the fucking Teemo specialist, and then you got fucking. I'm sorry, Array. This Golden Guardians Academy roster, outside of Hustlin, I believe, who went from coach and then played some support for a bit. Yeah, they were in last place. And like the only thing they swapped out was the academy mid laner, I believe, who I forgot who it was. It was somebody like fucking yeah, right. It was leader. But yeah, that was a last place academy lineup, and they've kept everybody besides the mid laner there. And none of these players are that young. They're all pretty old, honestly. So it's like, what the fuck? And then Wixley's at least like 19 or something, so maybe. But the thing that pisses me off the most is that fucking Joey is getting, but not getting an LCS spot. But then they're bringing.
He really's not that good,
Joey
dude.
For the last.
I'm being honest here. He's pretty trash.
I'm not saying Joey is amazing or anything, but for the last 2 years, Joey has done an excellent job in academy and with dog 80s. Yes, actually.
Yeah.
We watched him play and with dog ADCs like Arrow.
He still looks shitty himself.
Turtle. No, he actually did a great job and he deserved an LCS chance. He was again him, Elia, and Busiel were the 3 who honestly deserved LCS chances. And not only you're not giving him one, but you've gotten this guy from Turkey no one's heard of, Flushy. Who the fuck is he?
I wouldn't give Joey a spot. He's not that good. He's had his chances. Well, I've seen it. It's
actually no, he hasn't yet. He literally okay, fun fact, there are 2 players in NA history who played international games but not LCS games. It was Joey, that one MSI game with Team Liquid where they just subbed out Ole randomly and then they got dick stomped, and Rikara when they benched Cody's son on 100 Thieves at Worlds.
No, what I'm talking about is he's gotten chances to prove that he's a good support on instances where like the main roster is not doing so well, and I've just not ever seen him play that well, honestly.
No, he has proved himself. He's
proved himself to be the trash can. If there's a trash can, I would probably say that's Joey. That's probably where I would put it.
No, he's proven himself to be
the trash can.
Now, he isn't like an amazing one, but for this Immortals roster, he's good enough. But
I'd rather just take a risk on another person.
For them.
The thing here is, would you gamble on a guy's been in academy for like fucking 30 years or a new guy? See, that's when you would kind of do that, though.
Oh, okay, but you were willing to give Stunt a fucking chance, all right?
Stunt actually performed well when he got a chance.
And why can't Joey? He's literally the same
We've
situation
seen Joey.
Right now.
He plays Nautilus like he's on crack. So
that's not the same with Stunt. Stunt was literally the same thing. Stunt was a 23 or 24-year-old in academy for like 3 years, and then he got a random chance, and you liked him. It's the same thing with Joey. Joey's
definitely he plays Lulu like he's on drugs, specifically meth, and he plays Nautilus like he's actually doing hardcore crack. Like, I've seen this guy, in academy. I've seen him lock-ins, LCS rosters sometimes. I don't know, man. Like the
Whatever.
IMT org went, you know what, Joey, you kind of been here for a while. You know what? Fuck ass is his name probably. He's better than you.
I hope he gets an LCS king as a laugh.
If fuck ass, whatever his fucking name is, shits the bed, and Joey comes up and I see Joey play again, I'm gonna throw up on stream. I don't want to see this guy.
What he would do, all right.
He would play Leona and run it down. He played with Keith.
What's wrong with that?
He played with Keith, I remember, and that was atrocious, actually.
Yes, he played with Keith, Wild Turtle, Arrow. He played with all these dogs.
Arrow, Wild Turtle, okay.
And he still looked good. But for some reason, they kept getting the call-ups, even though they're trash.
Oh, God. All right, Diggs' roster is interesting. Now, this is a roster a lot of people think could challenge for top 4. I think people are a little overrating this roster only because, like, the recent performances out of these guys is not what people think the players are. Now, could the players come back to this form? Maybe, and my dad could be in my life. Anything's possible, right? Arma was not a good LEC top laner. Santorin was probably the best player on Team Liquid, so that's a fine pickup. Jensen did not really play that well, and Spawn was, some okay Jinx games, but it's so little of a sample size to really go off of. And Ignar pretty much ran it down all the Immortals games. So I don't know where people think this roster is good at based off their recent performances outside of just Santorin.
Yeah. So I
don't know.
They could have had Kaori. They could have had Kaori and kept Biofrost, who did really well considering he was with 4 dog shit players and he was still doing really well. But they're going with Ignar, who is kind of washed, and he was on the bench for one split and then played on that shitty Immortals for another split, and then they're going to keep Spawn. Those are some decisions, but otherwise, I mean, the other 3, I mean, Armut is sure a one trick, but with his competition, I mean, he can best Revenge, he can best Licorice, he can best Solo, Dokla, the rest will be, I mean, honestly, he's kind of like even with Solo for me, actually. So we'll see.
Well, guys, that is it for the roster so far. I think I have hope for Jensen. I do. I love Jensen, as you guys know, but I hope he can come back to that form that a lot of people thought he was going to have on Cloud9. So we'll just talk to you guys for just a little bit longer, and then we're going to head out, actually. So glad my camera's now fucking working on Chrome finally. So like I said before, we're going to be having some changes. We have a new series debuting, so that way you can have more content outside of just this series, you know? Will I have more pre-recorded videos? Not really. The new series that we're going to be doing is going to be pre-recorded. That's going to happen. But outside of that series, I don't know what other kind of content you guys would want. I'm going to ask you guys because, you know, YouTube unlocked the community tab, you know, for the channel. So I'll ask you guys if you want the show separated, like a Cloud9 podcast for the LEC and a Cloud9 podcast for the LCS. I liked when we did that this year. We'll most likely keep doing that. It's just going to depend on if you guys really want to see that, though. If you guys rather have the shows combined, I can do that. But if you guys would rather have the shows, you know, together, separate, then I can do that as well. Predictions: Cloud9, EG. So far, those are my locks. Cloud9, EG. I think Dig will at least be top 6 worthy. At least. 100 Thieves, definitely. So that's 4. Team Liquid. Yeah, so pretty much all the teams that you expect. Oh, God. So, yeah, pretty much any of the teams that you expect to be in the top 6 will probably going to be my top 6. Maybe TSM, but that is going to be a really off pick. Maybe. I don't think TSM are exactly top 6. I think TSM are going to be in that, maybe competing for 6, depending on how the other rosters really play out. I think Dig probably have a better roster maybe than TSM, but we're going to have to see. And, you know, like the LEC is going to be experimenting, you know, with their, you know, new format. I just hope the LCS is kind of willing to experiment with the format too, because guys, the format that we have it's not doing it. I hope the LCS experiments with this format. Please, literally change the shit up. BO1s is not cutting it. The reason why people don't view.
You know what saves NA?
I mean, I was gonna say Hoon.
We should all buy some Dig Hoon jerseys right now.
Good God. No. If Joey is promoted to the LCS, I'm just gonna. That's just.
It's a good possibility. We don't know who the fuck Fleshy is. He's probably not good at all.
You mean fuck ass? This isn't,
Yeah, I mean, he's playing with Tactical anyway, so either way, even if he's not too bad, he'll probably still look like shit, so I'm sure they'll still split time.
Oh, God, jeez. It's one of these things where, the teams in the LCS should give you a reason to watch them. That's the thing. That's not really Riot's actual problem, though. If the orgs themselves are not giving you...
It's like the org issue with some of the bottom teams. Like, again, CLG and Dig, they are fixing the issue now because they're actually trying now. Like, again, I didn't want to see Dig and them gone because of their history. Like, if they just do that, then it's all good. And I'm hoping Immortals at least does that because of their history. Golden Guardians, I could give two shits about. They can leave. Our fucking Golden State sucks anyway.
This girl said, I love being flexible. Oh, yeah, I love it too.
Okay. But anyway, it just needs better. I think they need to hire more better video makers again for their, try more on that content. Again, like what they used to do in the past was amazing.
It's just on the content side, the LCS teams have gotten pretty lazy with it. And the bottom tier teams haven't really ever given you a reason to watch them. I mean, maybe this year is different. Maybe it's different. Maybe.
Yeah, but just improve the content, please. Like, why aren't we getting those on Cloud9 things again? Why aren't we getting boot camp tours or tours at Worlds, and their practice thing or those stream? Remember in 2018 Worlds when all the teams and players streamed their solo queue stuff and practice? Why don't they do that anymore? Or it's why don't they do advertising videos in 2014 when LMQ was coming in and they did that promotional thing of each team, their intros and stuff and
how about something recent? 2014 was 8 years ago, Sean.
Yeah, I know, but that was peak content, which is sad. That was when they made it actually interesting with better storylines.
The K-pop dancing was peak content.
Jesus, okay, not that, but Jesus Christ, I remember that shit.
What do you mean? Hotline League is peak content.
Hotline League is fucking.
It's peak league content right there. Oh shit.
Fucking Travis Gaffer, Jesus Christ! How does this guy have good jobs?
Oh shit! So my thing, guys, is I hope the viewership numbers do better. I do, but you gotta understand if the other orgs that haven't really ever won shit aren't giving you a reason to watch, then you really have no obligation to give them your time. Because I was talking to a buddy about this, and the thing here is a casual viewer is just gonna kind of watch the region that is doing well at Worlds, right? LCK just won Worlds, and a lot of viewers, obviously. LPL has won Worlds. They're going to have a lot of viewers just in general. And the LEC has made World Finals, so they're going to have viewers in general. The LCS just really hasn't done a lot to garner viewers. Just hasn't, Even the performances at Worlds aren't good enough to signify. Literally, if you watch the NA teams play from this year's Worlds, why would you want to watch them in the LCS? What reason would you have outside of just, it's just League and I just like watching League? I just like watching League in general, so I watch all the teams play, give or take. In the LPL, it's a bit harder to, watch all the teams play, but I try to watch enough games as I can. For the LPL, I usually kind of only want to watch the teams that I kind of know are at least decent competing to win a title, like Top Esports, RNG.
You could say the same thing with EU. Again, if it wasn't for that glitch, Rogue probably wouldn't have made it out of groups. And besides those few games they won, Fnatic, Mad, and G2 played just as bad, if not worse, than the other NA teams. So honestly, so what's their reason? Many reasons they give. And again, I've said this many times, in North America, what really gives Peaks fans interest is having like a database for like prospects and stuff to and younger players to keep interest with. They should implement, as I said for many years, like a better site to like track like their teams, younger players are like in other leagues and like the college leagues, which they're doing more now, like the C low, I believe it's called. It's like they need to make better sites for that instead of just like the wikis and advertise that, and then they should make like actually like fantasy games. I think like that in my opinion is like the type of stuff that gives people more like interest, sort of like the fantasy drafts. Sites, I forgot what the app was called, but they've been doing that for League of Legends now, and that gained more people's interest in like interacting there and watching the games. Like that's pretty important when it comes to like viewership in North American culture. They should do that.
Amaranth is dating a new guy, or going on a new date IRL now. I have to watch the stream.
Okay, yeah, there's just gonna be like 50 of those. She's gonna milk. All right, don't worry.
Good. Can Jensen do it? Oh, Worlds is too far away to know. Honestly, if Jensen can play well in this spring split, that's a good sign that Dig might not get knocked out in the first round of playoffs. Usually,
Dignitas will LCS have 4 world spots since the minor regions are kind of,
Oh, because my thing here, guys, is if Jensen can play very well and compete with the other mid laners. I mean, the mid lane pool this split looks better than the mid lane pool of last spring split. I'll tell you that. But my thing here is if Dig can actually put up good performances like consistently against the top tier organizations and rosters, that's good. Like I like more competition. I enjoy that. But my thing here is Spawn and Ignar bot lane. That looks kind of jank. Not gonna lie, it just does. But that's just me, personally. I mean, they have Arma.
If they had Kaori or Unforgiven and then Biofrost, it would be a lot better, in my opinion.
Well, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. I managed to combine the episodes of the other show into this one, so we have a full length. You guys can go back and check out all my other shows and my amazing takes that I had with James back in the day.
Yeah, but I will say, do you think minor region's about to disappear as a whole soon?
I think they already should. I don't like watching
because I don't know if you saw my tweet, but again, like they're combined in, as they should have. They're combined in the Middle East, Turkey, and Russia now, and all of EU. And I'm pretty sure they're going to probably do that soon with Latin America, Brazil, and Oceanic with NA. And then they're probably going to combine Vietnam and Japan back in PCS and then make them a major region again and just have those 5. I think that would just be best because if they're going to keep taking away minor regions like that, they should just do that.
Because what happened? Fucking hell. What's the one? Russia? Not Russia. Turkey is going to be an
Turkey
ERL,
and
right?
Russia.
So they're not going to have. Oh, so you're right. That would leave 2 world spots.
But and also the Middle Eastern regions. There was they called it the MN, but it wasn't an official one. It was just Middle Eastern players like Lebanon and Saudi Arabia and all that.
Even if they get rid of Russia and Turkey, which they did, that would still leave an extra spot. So I mean, what VCS would get another team, right? And then that would mean LCS would get the 4th
LCS having 4 seeds as well, both of them.
So literally, you just add another 4th seed for the LCS, another seed for VCS. But like that, I know Zach. Like minor regions are terrible. They're so trash. Even at this world, they were fucking awful, man. I hate seeing that shit.
Yeah, so I'm saying, like, isn't it like just better to just because again in other esports they kind of combine Latin America, Brazil, and Oceanic. They combine them with NA, honestly, and also like South Africa, and then they can just combine Vietnam and Japan with PCS, the Pacific Asian League, and then they already combined Turkey, Russia, and the Middle East or whatnot with EU. So wouldn't it be better to just do that and then just have those 5 major regions with more seeds, increase the amount of teams in each league to 16 at least in LCS and stuff, and more teams that contend at go to Worlds? Like, wouldn't that just be better? Because they got rid of 2 or 3 minor region seeds just now. It's like there's only 5 left. It's like what's the point at this point?
Yeah, dude, I feel you, man. Like people rag on NA, but NA beats the shit out of all those minor regions most of the time. Yeah,
you're gonna drop. They're no worse than EU. We're in the same boat.
Yeah, because the thing here is, even if EU or NA drop a random BO1 to a wild card team, it doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter because that's just the nature of BO1s. Anything can happen. That's just the nature of them. Literally, Australia guys went 0 and 12 this year. I don't know why Australia gets to be allowed to come to these events. I don't know. But there's going to be some changes. I like all the changes that are going to be happening. It's just so crazy to me that players like Upset are not going to have a team. That is ridiculous. Flackid got an academy team spot, but Upset is not going to play in the league. Just let that sink in. Let's sink in. But yeah, I have some more content coming for you guys. I literally wrote out all the content I'm still going to drop for you guys. Like I said before, new series debuting very, very soon. I'm going to have the very first video out with it coming soon. Want to kind of get you guys in the feel of it to see this is when you can expect this kind of video. I also want to give you guys the last few news videos that I need to do. I recorded a good amount of them, and I'm most likely just going to be doing response videos to other people's content in the meantime. That's the best thing that I can really offer you guys. Will we have more Cloud9 podcasts? Yes, we will, because we're going to have to do the LEC 2023 Spring Split Team tier list. I know you guys liked that last year. We're going to do a tier list for LEC, a tier list for the LCS, and a tier list for the LCK. LPL, not happening, because that's just too much. But the LCK for sure. Yeah, we'll be talking about the LCK, some more. There's some news going with that as well. They have some big news about that. Kingin and fucking Kingin, Viper, and Zeka joining Hanwha Life Esports. Yikes. But I'm still trying to figure out when I'm gonna actually be able to have this show more consistent. Because
hold on, Kingin's joining Hanwha Life Esports, and who else? Sorry,
Kingin, Zeka, and Viper.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, Zeka and Viper. I knew. I thought. Jesus,
no, it would not. No, it would not. We saw what 3 LCS teams look like at Worlds. Imagine what 4 of them would look like. Literal donkey shit. Imagine if TL went to Worlds and faced Genji.
Well, we should just send 5. Again, combine all those, as I just said, and just send 5 of each. 25 teams, 5 teams, 5 groups. 2 of them, or 3 of them out of... Actually, let me do the math. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15.
3, 6, 9? Really? 3, 6, 9? You are a piece of shit.
Count them by 3s, idiot.
God damn. It's okay.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. So I guess that's what we could do. Then it would be... Yeah, that would work. So then the top 2 from each of those 5 groups make it into the tournament, and then the other 3 bottom... Yeah, the 3rd place team from each group, they can, the other bottom 2, that's not the last place team, then gets eliminated, and then the other bottom 2, they do best of 3s, and there are 16 teams, and then there can be around the 16. Yeah, that would work. Yeah, we can do that. So 5 teams of each from each region. Okay.
You know what they would do? They would just add another LCK seed. So 5 LCK teams, 5 LPL teams.
Yeah, 5 LCK, 5 LPL, 5 LEC,
no!
5 PCS,
no!
5
They better not do that.
Why?
Dude,
why? But there would be 16 teams in the tops, in the playoffs.
Rogue thing. If Rogue did not make top 8 this year, it would have been an all LPL LCK top 8. You know that, right?
No. Yeah, no, but here's the thing. Again, it would be the round of 16 we would turn it into. So it would be the round of 16 we would turn into with the format I just told you. So there would be at least 6 NA, EU, or PCS teams that make it through. And then there would probably at least have to be 1 top 8 team with how
Are you making Worlds for the Special Olympics or something?
What? Well, what? If we get rid of all the minor region teams and combine them, which is what they're starting to do, then that's how it would work best. 5 teams from each of the 5 things, and then 5 groups. And then it'd be 16 teams that make it through.
God. Well, guys, that is it. When the LCS shows us the new format, because it's been rumored that there's going to be a new set 2 days for the LCS, then that's when I can give you guys a day where the podcast is going to happen, because I want to have the podcast on a set day and time, but I don't know yet because the LCS is going to be changing up the broadcast days. If the broadcast days happen to be Wednesday and Thursday, then I'll most likely have the show up around Sunday or Monday. Like this could just be your Sunday show, because I want to have a day where it gives us the best chance for not only just viewership, but, like when you set up a notification, you guys get the notification, when it goes out. But I won't know that until I get the information from the LCS, which should be revealed very, very soon. Also, I'm going to start playing Valorant. So that's going to be a really interesting thing. Will I be making Valorant content? I don't know about that because I haven't played the game yet. Will I be talking about the Valorant pro scene? Very big possibility, but I got to get more into it. I got to figure out players' histories, best org so far, and why does Sean work for Sentinels, because he loves Lena, obviously, but...
What? I fuck Sentinels, all right? Pieces of shit. All right, they got this big of an org in the first place because they got lucky. Okay, first off, Mike Young kept them alive. Mike Young literally saved P1 from what do you call it again? What did they used to have in LCS? What do you call it again? Fucking what's it again when you get eliminated from LCS? What do you call it again?
No, put in the dumpster can? Like, what the hell are you talking about?
No, I'm saying what happened. What do you call it again when you get eliminated from LCS that they used to have?
Oh, relegation.
Yeah, relegation. He literally saved P1 from relegation, which saved their esports org basically, and then they later left the scene, but they became Sentinels basically. And then that fucking Buddha, that fucking whatever his name is, that Fortnite kid won the whole Fortnite like $30 million championship or whatever the prize pool was, and that's what put them high on the map, and then gave them that Valorant team, bought all the players, and then made them succeed there, and that's why they're such a big org now. All right, so fuck all that happened. All right, and ever since then, there's been so many fucking there's been like 3 players that came out of their org who had like sexual assault allegations, and none of them were disproven. They just did their fake ass like Reginald level investigations. Were like, yep, there's nothing. It's like you didn't actually do an investigation. No, shut up. All right, so fuck Sentinels, and I hope they never get an LCS team. I am so glad that deal with Dig fell through.
They weren't gonna come into the league. I think they're. I mean, I don't know their financials, but I would assume they're a lot more profitable, and they'll have a lot more avenues to be profitable through the Valorant system. And yeah, guys, when I start playing Valorant and I start learning more about it, and I start playing it more and start learning about the competitive scene, yeah, we'll have Cloud9 Podcast that'll just gonna be straight Valorant. That won't be just any LCS. It'll be just straight Valorant because I want to, diversify some of the content here, but it's still esports in general, right? So I think League of Legends and Valorant would be kind of cool content to have.
Call yourself the Way of Life esports, so yeah.
Yep, there you go. Like, that's why we had the little special rebrand. Esports content entertainment is encompassing everything. We might even have a day where
you renamed yourself to that now?
Are you blind? Do you have eyes that work, like with vision?
Well, why would you do that? What was wrong with Way of Life esports?
Well, my way of life is just being a good-looking stud. That's my way of life.
But Way of Life esports is the same thing because it's not one esport. It's just esports. And what was the rebrand purpose?
So the rebrand purpose was to show how good looking and how many ladies I get every day. That's the goal.
Yeah, I love how he has the columns content and entertainment, even though that's the same thing. It's like you're just extending the name for no reason.
So yeah, when I get more acclimated with Valorant, you will definitely see just straight content podcasts with just Valorant. We'll even have like even the new series will include Valorant at some point, but that's when I got to get more acclimated into the scene itself. I'm still very new to it.
Can we do a video on why Sinatra is the most overrated esports player of all time?
Could we do why Sentinels has the sexiest president, right? That is Lena.
Well, that's not true, but okay.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it, guys. I do want to say thank you guys for all of the support you have given me. Thank you so much. Cloud9's gonna win.
I was gonna make a joke, but I can't say it on here because I know like there's I don't know if like Cloud9 like Reddit advertise your shit, but I can't say it on here. I'll tell you like after we end it backstage. The joke I was gonna say.
Yeah. I usually post the show on the Cloud9 subreddit. People were like, "Well, you can't spam." I don't spam the episodes. I post them once and I just leave. To be fair, you could also take them down if you really cared. But like, guys, literally, that's how people function nowadays, guys. You literally give them free content. They don't pay for it. They don't subscribe. They don't like. They don't do shit. And then they find a way to complain about something that they're not even paying for, nor even watching. I love people nowadays.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So wait, the Cloud9 subreddit, you can link like your videos and streams and stuff. So what is wrong when you do it?
No. Some people were giving me some shit for it a long time ago. They were like, all you do is complain about the team. What? Oh,
What?
I asked for literal specifics. They were like, all you do is complain. I'm not a dick sucker.
So basically, because here's the thing, there are like usually 3 LCS teams each year that are somewhat decent. So yeah, the other 7 teams we give not hate but valid criticism to, and with the region in general, which is why they've never done anything internationally. But apparently, we're lying when we do that, and that's just hate.
Well, that's it, guys. See you guys later. Episode will be out next week. We'll do our LEC 2023 Spring Split Team tier list. The week after that, we are going to do the LCS, and then after that, we'll probably just have some free fall episodes. We're just watching some people's content and commenting over it. But yeah, I'll have more content out for you guys. Thank you guys for your support. See you guys later. I'll be putting up some more polls on my community tab on the channel. YouTube unlocked it, so I can interact with you guys a whole lot more, and then I can put out LCS GOAT, double it for Bjergsen, and I want to have people actually vote on it, so I can just watch it with all just burn.
That's picking, that's a lie versus a lie. None of that is truthful, but okay.
Oh, forgot about this, guys. Give me a second. Well, 1 second. I promise. One more thing.
Now, if you added Jensen to that, then it would be truthful, or even X Smith.
Give me 1 second. Right here. Okay, who will be the first ever LEC Winter Champion? Let's hope Fnatic Triplet to surpass GT. Oh shit!
Yeah, Turkey and Japan did this winter stuff before. I know that.
Who will be the first winner? 7th place Fnatic. Is there going to be 3 final events aboard? I'm so confused. From what I understand, there will be only 1 finals event that'll take place after summer, which will decide the LEC champion. Okay. Not Excel, of course. Oh shit.
Yeah. So I'm confused. So basically, what they're doing basically is the summer and spring, and so the winter thing is basically like lock in with like a small prize pool, and then spring is basically a small prize pool and just to qualify for MSI, and then summer is a small prize pool and auto qualify for Worlds, and then the others go through maybe a gauntlet thing, or the other top 4 do it, or whatever, and then there's like they combine all the things or whatever for Worlds play. I don't know, it's confusing, but basically all that stuff though aside, like basically there's only 1 LEC championship a year now, and it's going to be that.
Yeah, so they're basically like you have like a lock-in kind of format here. You still have your spring split technically, but it's not really going to be a split. It's going to be basically BO wants to start. The bottom 2 teams already get eliminated, and then you get to top 8. And then after that, you start playing BO3s. Now, what I really like about this, guys, is people be like, but you eliminate the 9th and 10th place team. Yeah, because if you're a 9th and 10th place team, just call me crazy. You probably suck. Just saying. I did not need to see more games of BDS. I didn't. I saw enough. You
didn't need to see more games of X Maddie. What do you mean he was popping off, man?
So my thing here, guys, is this eliminates the bad teams early on, so you can see better games from the top tier teams. I'm sorry. Like, I'd rather have that. I'd rather have the bad teams get eliminated earlier because it makes,
Wait, yeah, but hold on. Aren't they having a separate thing that's called the LEC Championship or whatever, like outside of winter, spring, and summer?
Yeah, we're gonna need some more details on it, but that's just
because what I
heard, I liked it.
Yeah, but basically, like, wouldn't that? I'm just saying, does that mean that there's only 1 like LEC championship now instead of 2 because that's the only one that matters? Or
we're gonna need more clarity because like the thing here is
because that's what I got out of it. Like summer, spring, and winter are basically like it's a preseason tournament, then MSI qualification, then Worlds qualification, or qualification points to make the LEC like top 6 bracket thing to make Worlds or try to win, the LEC title. Like that's what I got out of it. But I'm confused. It's basically sort of like what the LCS has, except our spring split still counts, and we don't have like the last part of it at the end of the
Yeah.
year.
So for me, what I really liked about their format change, one, you were adding in BO3s, which is good. Guys, the best regions in the world play BO3s. LCS and LHC should be doing that. I like that you're eliminating. I like that you're eliminating the bottom tier teams that aren't. Let's be honest, you guys. Bottom tier teams that are 9th and 10th place in most splits are usually fucking garbage. Outside of your rare exceptions, obviously. So then you're getting into the top 8, and then the top 4 at a certain point will just only make it. And that's good. Like, you're just getting more BO5s out of the better teams. That is a great system.
You know what I want to know? I want to know how many games Misfits would have won last year in spring and summer if it was best of 3s instead of best of 1s.
They would have went they would have went fucking 3-20 or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. Because oh my god, if it wasn't best of 1s for them, holy shit.
Holy shit, if it was this system, God bless their souls. They would have just looked like shit. All right, guys. See you next week.